Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into another hot topic making waves in Philippine defense circles. MaxDefense Philippines just dropped a juicy hint on Twitter, suggesting the possible acquisition of ex-Italian Air Force A-11B aircraft, also known as the AMX, Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into another hot topic making waves in Philippine defense circles. MaxDefense Philippines just dropped a juicy hint on Twitter, suggesting the possible acquisition of ex-Italian Air Force A-11B aircraft, also known as the AMX, to replace our aging fleet of SF-260TP light attack aircraft. Could this be a smart upgrade or a costly distraction? Let's break it all down. The Philippine Air Force currently operates a limited number of SF-260TP turboprop light attack and training aircraft. They're getting old, and their combat relevance is quickly diminishing, especially as the AFP transitions to a more modern territorial defense posture. MaxDefense raised the question, why not replace them with former Italian A-11Bs? These aircraft, better known internationally as the AMX, are light ground attack jets developed by Italy and Brazil in the 1980s. They were designed to perform close air support, interdiction, and reconnaissance missions, very similar to the FA-50s we currently operate. Italy retired its fleet in 2022, and Brazil, the only remaining operator, is scheduled to phase them out this year. So the big question is this an opportunity for the Philippines to snap up surplus jets at a low cost? Or would this just be another case of acquiring secondhand equipment with limited long-term value? The AMX is a subsonic jet with a combat radius of around 550 kilometers, capable of carrying laser-guided bombs, reconnaissance pods, and even short-range air-to-air missiles. With a top speed of around 1,000 kilometers per hour, it's no speed demon, but it was never meant to go toe-to-toe with enemy fighters. It's a ground pounder, ideal for coin operations and battlefield support. Italy operated around 136 AMXs at its peak. The specific model in question, the A-11B, is Italy's designation for its attack-configured AMX. Many were upgraded in the 2000s to carry modern munitions and improved avionics, but the line was officially closed in 1999. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Before we jump to conclusions, it's worth noting that some 11BS retired by Italy were stored in relatively good condition, and several were kept in flyable reserve. This could mean that if offered, they wouldn't be scrap-tier jets, but ones that can still serve with minimal rework. In addition, Italy has a strong aerospace industry, with companies like Leonardo that could, in theory, restart limited part production or provide overhaul support. That could extend the life of these jets by a few more years, but only if a proper logistics and maintenance agreement is in place. Without that, you risk buying flying museum pieces. Also, the AMX's ability to use NATO standard munitions, including laser-guided bombs and reconnaissance pods, could provide short-term capability boosts, especially if paired with surveillance missions or maritime strike roles in areas like the West Philippine Sea. Are spare parts still being manufactured? Short answer, not really. The AMX production line has been closed for over 2 decades. Any parts would now either be stockpiled, scavenged from donor aircraft, or manufactured under license by third-party aerospace firms. That means logistical sustainability is a major concern, especially since only Brazil still operates them. And even they're retiring theirs in 2025. Are there ongoing upgrade programs? No current large-scale upgrade programs are known, especially not for export customers. Italy and Brazil both opted not to pursue deep modernization, citing the age of the platform and the rise of multi-role alternatives. So unless the Philippines embarks on its own upgrade program, which would cost millions, what you get is what you get. This brings up a parallel. Are we seeing the return of the so-called Great Italian Sale? Back in the day, Italy offered second-hand equipment at low cost, often politically convenient, but not always operationally optimal. The AMX could be another case of that. Now let's compare mission scope. The AMX does fill a role similar to the Korean-made F-50 Fighting Eagle, which the Philippines already operates and continues to procure more of. Both can perform light strike missions. Both can carry precision-guided munitions. But the F-50 has a faster top speed, more modern avionics, and an ongoing production line, not to mention interoperability with South Korea and the US. The AMX, while rugged and proven, is older, less capable in air-to-air combat, and nearing the end of its serviceable life. So from a capability perspective, the AMX is a stopgap at best, a cheaper, limited substitute for a proper light multi-role aircraft. If these were to be used purely for internal security or maritime strike missions, they might suffice. But if the plan is to field them alongside FA-50s as part of our territorial defense concept, they may fall short. This brings us to the most important question: where does the money come from? If this AMX acquisition takes money away from the more important multi-role fighter, MRF acquisition project, then it's a hard pass. The MRF program is essential for securing air superiority. Every peso counts. Diminishing that budget for second-hand aircraft that may only last a few years is short-term thinking. However, if Italy offers these aircraft at extremely low cost, or even as a military assistance package, and if logistical support can be guaranteed, then the AMX could serve as a temporary replacement for aging platforms like the SF-260TP and perhaps even the OV-10 Broncos, until a more modern and sustainable fleet is fully realized. It all depends on the terms. So, should the Philippines go for the AMX? If the price is right, if it's surplus and does not affect the MRF program, and if Italy includes a decent parts and support package, then sure, it might be worth considering as a stopgap light strike platform. But if we're looking at long-term capability, interoperability, and sustainability, the Philippines should focus on modern platforms like the FA-50, F-16, or even the KF-21